Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube/ We Do It All. As always, I am your host, John. Very happy to be here. Junior, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on? Doing good. Excited to get on this one and excited for this debate this week. It's going to be good. We got Dylan on here, so it'll be fire.
Yeah, we got a fire debate this week. Dylan, what's going on, man? We got a fire guest. What's up, my G?
How we doing? It is great to be back. I'm super excited to be back on the show. Ready for this debate this week. Do
it. We're so excited to have you back on. Dylan was one of the OG guests, man. This is back when Clutch Talk was running out of one mic. One mic had three of us around the mic, man.
And a hamper at the damn table.
Damn, for real. But we really appreciate having you back, Dylan. But anyway, guys, so what we got planned for this week is we got Player of the Month, man. We got April Player of the Month. There are three there's a lot of candidates, but there's three strong candidates that have made a strong case for, and that's what we're going to do here today. So before we jump into this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a like down below. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe. Go follow our Instagram. Go follow our Twitter. Come debate with us on there. We always talking some basketball on there, and we always dropping NBA trivia polls and activities and everything, man. So go follow that and come debate with us, man. But if there's no further ado, you guys ready to jump into this?
Let's get it.
Ready.
Let's do it. All right, Dylan, since you're the guest, man, you're gonna kick this off for us.
All right. My April Player of the Month has to go to Steph Curry. All around. Okay. Man was averaging 37.3 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, 4.6 assists, and was shooting at a 46.6 three-point percentage. I mean, man was just going out crazy that whole month, just putting up crazy numbers I haven't seen in a while. And I think I just got to give it to him. I'm a Laker fan first, but I just got to show my respect to the dude. Dude is out here beating the 76ers, beat the Nuggets twice, and the Bucks. Those are some high contender teams. I think it just got to go to him. So what do y'all think about that?
Definitely. I feel you on that. I don't know if I could give it to him because of to me, like, where I can't say Steph Curry is my Player of the Month is when I look at the record, especially when I look at the other two candidates and their records. Like, if we're talking about individual play, okay, the man almost put up a 40 ball for the month. Like, we know individually he was probably one of the greater players, but to me, as a player, you're only as great as you're making your team. Like, if you're going out there putting 100 balls, but you're losing every game, like, it's really empty stats, right? It was a Devin Booker stat before the Suns became actually good. It was like you're scoring 70, but you're losing, right? So to me, that's the biggest reason that I have a hard time being able to be like, Curry is my Player of the Month. But I do understand. I understand your point on that. But Junior, how do you feel about that?
It's tough because I agree with both you guys. Curry individually had a great month, but the problem is, like you said, John, it's the record, is the fact that they're just now with an amazing Curry month. They're just pushing 9th seed now, actually 10th because the Grizzlies just won. So it's just all this and they get 10th seed, So it's tough to be Player of the Month and then your team just sucks. You know what I mean? So, but I do, like I said, it's not even a knock on Curry. It's that I think there are other players who had better months, and that's what I guess that's what we're here to debate on, right? To see who's got the player, who's got the best April player in this debate here, in this trio.
Some very fair points I have to say, but I just think that man put that team on his back. Their record was 8-9, so it wasn't great, below 500, but I think he just got him enough. I think with the team he has, he's got Oubre, Wiggins, and Draymond. Those are his next best players. I know Draymond was a former All-Star, but I just think like those guys were put in minimal effort, but Curry was out here every single night dropping 30-point games. This man was going crazy.
He needs to be on a team that values them, and that's not the words.
Yeah,
that's the Lake Show, baby.
Yes, sir. So I don't know. All I'm just saying is this man, I think he's been, for what he has to offer, he's been carrying this team on his back alone.
Man, he's He's definitely been doing his thing. But so let me ask you guys a question. You know, this is a point that Junior you brought up. You know, off camera, you had mentioned to me. You said like that the Warriors roster is it's not as bad as the place that they should be in. Do you guys agree with me? Because I feel like with a roster like although I get it, Andrew Wiggins is not what he would panned out to be. You know, we all thought he was going to be the Canadian Mamba, but you know he didn't pan out to be that. I get it. Oubre isn't what he panned out to be as well, but he still has some time to grow. You know, Draymond isn't all there, and I guess and we understand that Clay isn't there. Isn't there at all, you know, but I feel like even with a team like Oubre and Draymond and Wiggins, that they should be in a better place than where they are now. Like, am I wrong? Am I right? Are you guys feeling me on this, or how do you guys feel about that?
I think you're right. I think that you look at everything, and you look at Wiseman too. Now he's injured, but he was there for most of the season, right? So that roster is better. Is it on paper? It's better than the Grizzlies. Better than Mavericks. On paper, it's better than Mavericks because, like, I mean, like you just compare player by player.
Yeah,
Steph and Luka, right? Like, I think Steph is a better player.
Yeah.
Right now, I think he's a better player. So they have the best player overall between those two teams, and you go down the roster. I think the Warriors pretty much win out at every spot, pretty much, right? So they're fifth. So roster wise, like, it's tough for people to paint a picture like, oh, the Warriors have no help. It's like, no, like. They're just like they have the players. They're just not being able to play together. And that's not, you know what I mean? Like that's on them. That's not on like if you look at the Pistons, for example, who's gonna score on the Pistons, right? But the Warriors do have options. So it's on them for not playing better.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, Jenner. So Jenner, how do you feel about April, man? Who do you feel is the player of the month for the month of April, man?
So I had to swing back to the East Coast, least coast. I'm just kidding. No, I had to go swing back to the East Coast to talk about player of the month. And I'm going with that man in New York, Julius Randle, man. I know it might sound a little wild, but I had to go with Julius Randle because he's been on fire. All right. So the Knicks they played 15 games in April and they were 11-4. Okay. The Knicks, not the Bucks, not the Sixers, not the Knicks. The Knicks. Were 11-4 in April. And 3 of their 4 losses came against the Mavericks, the Nets, and the Celtics. That's 3 out of their 4 losses. And they were on April 2nd, 5th, and 7th. That means that for most of the month, they lost 1 game, right? Mm-hmm. Anything after the 7th, they lost 1 game. And I think that's impressive. And their only other loss, by the way, was against the Phoenix Suns, who currently have the best record in the NBA. Right. So like they had a tough month and really only lost games like that to better teams. I think, you know, you can make an argument, maybe the Mavericks, but I think they only really lost games that they lost to better teams. Like it wasn't like, oh, they slipped and dropped one to the Thunder or something, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's the Knicks. So we're talking about team success right now. They currently sit 4th in the East, only behind the Nets, super team, Sixers, super team, or yeah, you can make an argument, but no, I think super team is 3 superstars. So Nets super team, Sixers very, very solid team, Bucks very, very solid team. Next out of those, when you take these 3 monsters, is the Knicks right there. Yeah. So you look at that, and that they've been sitting there for a while too. So it's not like, oh, they got on a hot streak and just, you know, string up some wins. Like they've been 4th for a minute now. So they're being consistent, and that's on the back of Julius Randle carrying them to be consistent. That's the team success I'm talking about. Individually, 27 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 6 assists in April. Okay, and on the season, he's averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. So he doubled his assists, upped his points, and slightly dropped off his rebounds, just by 1 rebound a game. Really, it's a little less than 1 rebound because it's like 9.2. So realistically, you're looking at a player that's got team success, individual success, carrying his team to a consistent performance, 4th in the East. That's why I think he deserves to be player of the month and way more respect on his name. And he deserves to be most improved player. I think he did. He went from most improved player in the league, more than Jordan Clarkson, who's also getting a shout, but I think Jordan Clarkson is just going to stick with 6th man of the year. But I think most improved should go to Julius Randle because look at what he's doing. Like if JC was most improved, he'd be starting. That's what I'm saying. I know it's tough out there in Utah, but I got Randle as most improved and as player of the month in April. So lay it on me. What you think?
Okay, I mean, I definitely understand like where you're coming from, and I mean, if we look at it like who the NBA actually gave it to was Julius Randle on the East Coast and Stephen Curry in the West Coast, right? So when we look at it like that, and like, we understand that Julius Randle did absolutely have a great year, but before I talk about that, Jenner, I want to mention something that you talked about. I think that it was great. You mentioned that Julius Randle is your most improved. Like, thank you for clarifying that because a lot of people are just talking about Julius Randle being MVP, and I was like, okay, that's too much.
Oh,
Like, that is just too much.
yeah.
Like, too much of a jump,
So that's
right? Like,
pushing it. Yeah.
it's that same stuff that we talked about a couple episodes on the couple hidden takes ago when we talked about Curry and Randall's probability of being MVP, and like I just think it's just too much. Like the other players are way too high, right? And that's kind of like similar how I feel about Curry in this situation, right? Like he's doing great. He's had a great season, but when you compare to the other candidates, it's not enough. So that's how I feel about Randall's like actual season MVP chances, right? But when we talk about when we talk about April, the only real knock because he did ball out. He's been balling all season. But the only real knock I have on him, and Jenner, this is what I want to bring to you and ask is do you think that he did more than the other candidate? And you know who the other candidate is, and I'll get to my candidate because the other candidate broke a lot of records.
Yes.
And did more winning.
Yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. And I think that you have a very good point with your other candidate, who shall remain nameless for now until you reveal who that is. But I get you. But again, we're looking at the Steph Curry problem. Your candidate is sitting ninth in the East right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My candidate is the best team that's not named Knicks, that's not named Nets, Bucks, Sixers. And that's on the back of him. And I think your candidate's team is a better team on paper. Your candidate's team has got another player who's putting up, I think, 34 points a game.
Who missed a lot
All
of
right?
April. Who missed a lot of April.
Yes. But my candidate's got nobody on his team. His running mate, who's supposed to be Mitchell Robinson, isn't there. Obi Toppin, we all started thinking Obi Toppin was going to be, LaMelo Ball in the beginning of the season, and then that faded, right? So I get you. You got a good argument, but I got to stick with my boy Julius Randle for now. But I want to hear what you think because you're going to tell me why you think that player should be.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why I think Russell Westbrook should be the player of the month. April player of the month, man. So for the month of April, Westbrook averaged 21 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists, 1.4 steals, and 44% from the field. Right. So Westbrook and the Wizards had 17 games in the month of April. And, I actually shared this stat on the last episode. So if you guys haven't checked out last episode, make sure you guys go check that out wherever you guys are on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Check out the last episode. But anyway, I talked about this stat, man. So the Wizards had 17 games in April. Westbrook had 17 double-doubles and 14 triple-doubles. Like, again, guys, that is one of the craziest stats that we've heard. That means that every single game that he played in April, he had a double-double. And fun fact, this is kind of like, out of topic or out of hand, but in 2011, 2012, which really wasn't that long ago, like 9-10 years ago, there was only 18 triple-doubles for the whole season. Like, could imagine that. Westbrook himself has 14. The season's like about to be done, but still himself, I bet there was 18 triple doubles for a season. Like, I mean, as a league, and to the second week, by the start of the league, man, that's just crazy. That shows how the league has just changed so much. But anyway, let me keep going. Westbrook, right? So Westbrook led the Wizards to the best record out of all candidates, better than the Knicks and better than the Warriors, with a record of 12-5 for the month of April. Westbrook also led the Wizards to an 8-game winning streak. We all saw that. We all saw that win streak, man. Nobody could mess with the Wizards in that 8-game winning streak. And to your point, Jenner, you brought up about Real Deal Beal. He missed 5 of those games of that 8-game winning streak. So Westbrook is out there putting in the work, man. He's out there carrying that team. was out there carrying that team because Beal was gone for 5 of those 8 games, right? But really, one of the points
5 games out of 17.
No, 5 games
Five
out of the.
He played 13 games in April.
You played 13 out of 17 games in April. That's pretty good. He's played 3/4 of the games.
But I'm talking
like,
about.
Let's not act like he played 0 games.
But out of the 8-game winning streak that the Wizards went on, he missed 5 of those games. Right,
that's fine. But all the games. We're not looking at an 8-game period. Okay. We're looking at the whole month.
Yes, but can we put together that trying to put together an 8-game winning streak by yourself is almost ridiculously tough, like extremely tough?
Yes.
Okay. We got to give him some respect because I feel like out of everyone here, he gets the most disrespect on his name, man. And this is really where I really harp my point of Westbrook being the player of the month is. So look, guys, at the start of April, the Wizards were 17-32, completely out of the playoff picture. They were the laughing stock of the league. Now they're 32-36, 9th seed, possibly the hottest team right now coming into this play-in tournament. And again, one of the reasons why I kind of had to give it to Westbrook is that because he's putting up his stats. He's getting his double-doubles. He's getting his triple-doubles. He's getting his numbers. But he's also winning. He's not doing those empty stats. You know, and Dylan, I don't mean to get on your guy, man, but Curry's got them empty stats, man. He's got them empty stats. And Junior, I mean, Randall didn't win as much as Westbrook. He did not. In the month of April.
He did.
In the month of April.
He did. Yes. Look, because you said they won 12 out of 17 games, right?
They won 12-5.
They won 12-5. So out of 17 games, they won 12. That's 70%. Okay.
Yeah.
Randall won 11 out of 15 games. That's 73%.
They won 11 out of 4. The Knicks.
They win 11-4. So 15 games, 11 wins. 11 divided by 15 is 73. 0.73. 73% compared to 70.
12-5 is right there, though.
It's right there, but it's not 11-4.
All right, guys. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but Junior, he's a mechanical engineer off duty, so this is probably where it's coming in. This little nerd just hitting in, man. Junior's a mechanical engineer, so if you guys that don't know, that's why he's breaking the numbers down for you guys like that, man. But anyway, let me keep going. Right? Okay, so even if we talk about that, okay. Randall may have won 73% versus Russell Westbrook 70%. What Randall did not do that Westbrook did is have a historical month. As a matter of fact, a historical season, right? But let's talk about April. Westbrook tied Oscar Robertson's NBA record for most triple doubles. He joined Oscar Robertson in the second player in NBA history to record 200 plus rebounds and 200 plus assists in 1 month. Like, come on. That's crazy. And let's talk about some of these numbers, y'all. Like, these are really 2K like numbers. Dylan, hey, I know back in college we used to always play that 2K. We used to always play with Westbrook. These are 2K numbers, dog. Listen, 37 points per game, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 14 points, 21 rebounds, 24 assists, 36 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 14 assists. Like, these are video game like numbers, and he has been doing this for very, very long. Now, I'm going to say something, and I know Junior's going to go crazy for this. I know when I wrote this one out, I already knew. I got to deal with the backlash that's going to come with this one, man. But I'm going to tell you something, man, and I really mean this. And when I say it, don't freak out. But Westbrook should have the same, if not more, respect on his name than Allen Iverson does. He should have the same, if not more.
Why?
Respect.
Tell me why.
I'm gonna tell you why right now. Because Westbrook, right? So when you look at Iverson, right? You look at him as this huge historical, cultural figure, and the tattoos, the crossovers.
Let's just talk about basketball.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Tell me why.
Let's talk about the accolades, right? Season MVP, Westbrook has 1. So does Allen Iverson. They each have 1. Playoff appearance, Iverson has 8. Westbrook has 10. All-star selections. Iverson has 11. Westbrook has 9. But the point that Iverson has never got close to, right? When you look at some of these numbers, okay, one the season MVPs. They're tied. Playoff appearance, Westbrook has more. All-star selections, Iverson has more. But when we look at one thing that Iverson has not even got close to do, not even for one season, my dog Westbrook is about to have his fourth season where he's averaging throughout the season a triple-double. Come on, he's not doing one thing.
You brought this up earlier. Mm-hmm. Remember, you said in 2009 they had 17 triple doubles in the whole season, right? Like, so what about in 2001? Right, so like basketball has changed. I don't think you could hang on the numbers of triple doubles to compare this new era versus the old era, because basketball has changed a lot. Dudes are chucking up so many shots nowadays. Like, we need to run the numbers on how many shots get chucked up during a game, because that means that leaves so many rebounds out on the table, and for somebody like Westbrook to go and grab them. Another thing, Westbrook is. If you told me Westbrook is more athletic than Allen Iverson, I would agree with you. I think Westbrook would be the most athletic point guard ever, along with prime Derrick Rose. Okay, so that means he's gonna be jumping up like a trampoline and grabbing these rebounds and stuff. Allen Iverson was my height. Okay, like Allen Iverson was, and I tell you, I play rec ball, my friend, and I don't be getting rebounds like that.
Don't sleep on AI athleticism.
I know, but it's not Russell Westbrook. It's not Russell Westbrook. I think him and Derrick Rose are the most athletic point guards ever.
He's 6'3". So like, he's 3 inches taller than Westbrook.
He's 3 inches taller, and he's got way more vertical. So I think that rebounds is gonna be not even be close. So it's tough for Allen Iverson to get a triple double because basketball was different, and he's a 6 foot tall point guard. You know what I mean? Like, he's a 6 foot tall player.
Because now with the new game and everything, everyone's just jacking up shots. Like JR said, bro, everyone's shooting threes. That is the new thing. People be running fast break. They still shoot a three. So now there's all these shots. I want to see the numbers on how many shots per game are being taken now as opposed to in the past. Like we said, I can't deny it. Russell Westbrook is insanely athletic. It's stupid how much balance he has. He's acting like a center when he's a point guard. And I still think we need to look at the stats and say, I think it's iffy. I'm going to actually lean with John on this one and say that I think Westbrook is, a little bit better than AI on a level here.
But I want to ask you guys something. When has Westbrook, as the number one option with no help, drag this team to the NBA Finals and pull a game off the then undefeated Lakers team in the finals, like AI did in 2001?
When has Iverson ever played a competition like Westbrook's been playing? Besides the 01 Lakers. And
he took a game off of them.
One team, right? And let me ask you a question. Is the league overall better now than or was it overall better by like teams? Right. So what I'm saying is Westbrook had to see better teams as he got there than Iverson had to see. You're right. The 01 Lakers is better than maybe any team that Westbrook's ever played in his career. Right. But when we talk, Westbrook had to see a tougher team than Iverson did in the first round. Westbrook had to see a tougher team than Iverson did in the second round because he got to the finals as well. They both got to the finals.
With Kevin Durant and James Harden.
James Harden was a baby. James Harden wasn't doing. James
Harden was the 6th man of the year, baby. That's pretty nice.
It was still Manu's award at that time.
I think James Harden won the year they went to the final. Did he not?
I don't know. I can't confirm on that.
We have to get a ClutchTalk confirmation, please.
but so okay. So Jinder, so you bring up the point of the game being different, and I agree, right? The game's different. That's true, right? We have to look at Westbrook's triple doubles with some context. But what I want to ask you is, why is the game different? Because players like Westbrook came about because they do so much that it would be like, I guess, like, excuse my language, but like stupidity, like to not put a player like Westbrook and have him do everything that he's doing, right? That's why the game has changed. That's why point guards are now not required, but they're like, I want my point guard to grab a rebound. Because back then, they just leave a point. A point guard shoot, kind of just wait out, go get back on defense, right? Let the big man get the rebound. Let the big man box out. Basically, what I'm saying to you is like, I agree with you. Yes, we got to take context into this. The game is different, and yes, there was only 18 triple doubles back in 2011. But the problem is the reason why the game has changed because players like Westbrook have forced it to change because he's so talented and so dominant.
I'm gonna bring up a quick stat. Okay, I looked at it. 3-point attempts team 3-point attempts in the league, 34.6 this year. Okay.
Mhm.
In 2001, 14.7. That's crazy. That's less than half.
That's crazy. The league
So
has
there's a lot
changed.
more shots going up, which means that there's a lot more rebounds available. So triple doubles will just happen. They will just happen. And I think that we can't
discredit
rest.
What about the double
We
doubles?
can't.
We can't
Right,
discredit
we
those
can't.
assists.
We can't. And I agree with you. But remember, back then, actually specifically that 01 playoff run, final scores were like 80 to 72. Like defense was king back then, right? So there's so much less scoring that assists are going to take a toll. Because right now, like, bro, boom, I look at you like if you have a Lakers jersey on and you stare at a player, it's a foul. You might even get a technical. You might actually get a 10-game suspension just for playing for the Lakers. No, I'm just joking. But in the NBA, bro, it's so soft now. So everything is a foul.
100%.
And back then, like, boom, it was just hammer time all the time. And we would see that dudes just weren't scoring. They weren't even getting foul calls, right? So I think it's definitely different in a sense that there's a lot less scoring going on too. So I could see, I'll give you full validity for an argument that Westbrook is a better player than Iverson. I don't think so, but I could give you the validity for the argument. The conversation is there to be had, but I don't think the point that's going to stick is going to be he got more triple doubles than Iverson did. I think it's just different types of players. I think it's going to be the fact that how much he's contributing to his team can maybe be a fact, but even then, I'd probably still want to give it to Iverson because of what he did to the Sixers, right? I mean, look at the Sixers roster. Like, it was kind of abysmal. The Kevin Mutombo was like 36 at the time. It wasn't that solid of a roster, right? Like, who do they have? Like Eric Snow, I think.
Yeah,
I don't even know
Eric
if he was
Snow.
playing on the Sixers at the time. So I'm gonna still give it to AI, but I like the points. I just want to say let's take the whole triple double thing into some context because the league has changed a lot.
I think
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still leaning towards Russell Westbrook. As John, he gets disrespected so much, and I think that one thing that he has a lot of players don't have as much is he has heart, and I think that carries him a long ways. He cares so much about the game, cares so much about his teammates. He puts 110% into every game he shows up into, and he tries for everything, no matter what time, no matter what score it is. This man is coming out there putting his heart and soul into this game. And at the end of the day, I think that just kind of put him over the top over AI. I know AI put his heart and soul into the game too, but I think Russell Westbrook wants it a little bit more than him, just a little bit. But so I don't know. I just think that he does get disrespected a lot for everything he does. He loves the game so much, and I don't think he's getting all the love back for it. But at the end of the day, I'd have to say that Westbrook definitely beats AI on this one.
He's got that mama mentality for sure.
Yeah.
Like he definitely puts his heart and soul into the game. So that's definitely respectable. It's definitely respectable, and he's definitely going to go down as an all-time great. You know, like I think he's probably going to make a run for a top 10 point guard of all time. But I think it's going to be a little tough. And another thing too, AI was more of a shooting guard. Like I know he was 60 tall, but he was more of a shooting guard too. So
yeah, Westbrook
he was
really
passing as much
as well. He's got that little mid-range.
Yeah.
He can definitely shoot way better.
I know. Russell. They call him Russell Westbrook for a reason.
yeah.
Definitely. But to close out, guys, so Curry had a great scoring month, like absolutely great scoring month, but not much else. Wasn't really winning. Wasn't grabbing too many rebounds. It wasn't out there facilitating too much. Randall definitely had a great scoring month. Not Curry level. I guess Junior, the mathematician, told us that Randall's winning more than Westbrook. So I guess Randall won more than Westbrook. But what Randall did not do is he did not break as many Westbrooks like Westbrook did, and I don't think he grabbed as much momentum for his team as Westbrook did. And Westbrook got his stats, won games, broke records, and carrying his team to the playoffs, man. So let me ask you guys a question to close out. Give me an answer for this. So out of these three players, Stephen Curry, Julius Randle, Russell Westbrook, if you had to pick, of course, we wouldn't pick these guys, right? Because we have better candidates. But if we had to pick a real MVP, not for the month of April, but for the MVP, who would you pick out of these guys?
Julius Randle. He's been the most consistent. Westbrook started off pretty bad. Remember, the Wizards sucked in the beginning of the season. Randall has had the Knicks in the playoffs for pretty much the whole season, single-handedly. Same thing with Steph Curry. Remember in the beginning of the year, Steph Curry sucked in the beginning of the year. And a lot of people were starting to think like, man, can he do it without KD? Can he do it without Klay Thompson? You know what I mean? And he's proven that he's now finding his groove, right? And I still want to see, what's going to happen because they're 10th place right now. But Curry started off the season bad. Westbrook started off the season bad. You guys remember all the talk. Mm-hmm. Randall's been the only one who's been consistent. So between these three, I got to go with Julius Randle.
Dylan, what about you?
I want to say my boy Curry, but I'd have to agree with you here. I think Randall, to be honest, he's been most consistent. I think throughout the season, he's shown up every single game. He's shown the leadership. That's what he's been doing. He's been leading this team all the way through and through every single game, putting up the numbers, and yeah, he's been consistent. So I would actually hop on over to Julius Randle. Former Laker, just gotta respect the dude for it.
Yes, sir.
gotta respect all the former Lakers, man. But I actually am gonna break the agreement here, and I'm gonna go with Stephen Curry. Actually, and the reason why I'm gonna go with Curry is because this is what I think when I think of MVP. When I think of MVP, like you should have the full package. You should be scoring, you should get your numbers, and you should be winning, right?
And a good defender.
And you should be an overall player and should be winning. Yeah. The only exception to that, if you're not winning, is if you're doing like just one thing that's just ridiculous that we'll never see again. We'll never see again. Like we'll never see again, right? And I think that right now the way he's playing, again, I wouldn't pick if I had all the league to pick from. I would not. But if these three players, what he's doing right now is crazy, y'all. Like we're watching these games, and it's like mind like you don't even know. You got to pick him up half court. And honestly, I'm more. You got to pick him up full court, exactly. Like I'm more kind of giving this to him, like because it's just like it was ridiculous. Like like what he's been doing is ridiculous. Even for 1 month, almost averaging a 40 piece for a month is crazy, right? And I think that this is the same thing when Westbrook got that MVP when the first season he averaged a triple double. Nobody had ever seen that. It was the first time, and I don't think nobody's ever seen somebody playing at this level for even though they're not winning. If we had between these three guys, Curry is just balling. He's doing something that these three guys just I don't think that they could touch right now. But Junior, I'm not gonna lie, you almost swayed me with that Julius Randle point of consistency.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a season-long award, so I had to go with Julius Randle. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about bang, like it's obviously Steph Curry. Like out of these three players, Steph Curry's the best player, and by far. Yeah. So who's got the power to make the most bang? It's absolutely Steph Curry. But got to look at the whole season, and I think that that's Julius Randle for me. But definitely. solid points all around.
Definitely. But there you have it, everybody. That was our player of the month debate. Dylan, man, thank you very, very much for coming on. Man. You were an absolute great guest.
Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully I can come back soon. Really appreciate being on the show every time. So thank you.
It's all good, Dylan. Yes, we're definitely going to have some more of Dylan on the show, man. So you guys stay tuned for that. And as always, make sure you guys go follow everybody's Instagram. I'm going to put Dylan's Instagram right here, right there, right in this little bubble. So make sure you guys, give him a follow, man. Make sure you guys go follow the Clutch Talk Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to put it right here, right in this little bubble, man. Come debate with us on Twitter. Come follow us on Instagram, man. That's where we drop all NBA updates, all trivia and everything, man. So stay tuned for more, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's episode, y'all. We out here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.